What's going on, everybody? This is Living in Arizona Now, and today we are going to talk about the average median home price across Phoenix Metro. People were asking me, hey, Jeff, is Pinal County or Maricopa County more affordable? Which one do you live in? Which one do you recommend? I live in Pinal County. And anyway, so that's what this video is going to be about. We're going to talk about Gilbert. We're going to talk about Phoenix. We're going to talk about the median home price according to some real estate agents. Research, because different websites collect different bits of information, but the one that I'm going to pull off directly right here right now is going to be Zillow. All you have to do is go to Zillow's website and it'll tell you, based on the city that you're looking up, what the average median home price is according to Zillow. And this varies, because some people would say that the housing market is actually up. By the way, I did pin a tweet, or I did pin a post to the Patreon for this channel. Some of you guys were asking how you guys can support this channel, and I created a Patreon. So that's a link that's pinned right there, and I'll post a comment also in the description for Patreon for those of you who are asking about how to support this channel. But thank you, Michelle, and thank you, B. Rob. So the big thing is the data off of Zillow. It says that in March we had reached the all-time high for new homes, or for home sales. It was just absolutely going nuts in March of 2020. Well, now I've talked to some real estate agents. I said, hey, are people scared to buy homes still? And they said, well, this is why they said that the Phoenix housing market hasn't slowed down. And this is what they believe. There's two reasons. This is what commonly comes up. Number one is because people are staying home more. They're more attentive to their home space. So they want bigger homes, more comfortable living areas where if you're working, 7 or 8 to 10 hours a day away from home, and you're only staying at home, you're not so focused on how comfortable your home is until you stay there for months upon end. Now, why is it that even though people are staying home, well, they're getting unemployment? Unemployment has been around about $800 a month. So people who got laid off, or the companies that were paying PPP, payment protection program, these people were able to float. So far, the economy has not been affected. In fact, people had more time to go out and look for their homes during COVID, using things like virtual tours. By the way, I have links to real estate agents and loan home officers, so you guys can begin the discussion in the description below. So check the description below if you want to talk to Svetlana, Matt, and the loan officer. Check in the description. But yeah, so it was kind of interesting how the Phoenix housing market, Arizona housing market, kept going up. Like I said, we hit that peak in March, and then we kind of kept going up. And some of the real estate agents that I talked to said prices are still going up. And so those two reasons were when I dug in and I did the research, that's what I came up with, was why it was happening. Thanks to the 9 people who already crushed up the likes. So if you guys are sitting there waiting for the housing market to go down, maybe that might not happen, but then again, if we do look at Zillow, if I look at the Zillow forecast, so I go to June 2020, they are saying that they project a little bit of a dip. So you may save a little bit of money, but what if that never happens? What if the market continues to outperform expectations, just like what happened with the stock market? The stock market was supposed to be going down, but NASDAQ just hit another all-time high. I mean, the standard, or the S&P, Standard & Poor's 500, or S&P 500, not doing so hot, but NASDAQ all-time highs, Amazon all-time highs, Microsoft all-time highs. People are like, what's going on here? And it's because of all this PPP, all this stimulus, all this stuff that's been happening. So even though people were expecting the Phoenix housing market to go down, it just hasn't happened. So here's the average median home prices across Phoenix right now. If you live in Phoenix, that's going to be basically Central Phoenix. If you guys don't know about where Central Phoenix is, it's basically, 40th Street to about 40th Avenue, give or take some avenues and streets going each side, all the way up to about North Phoenix, which is past Bell Road, Union Hills, and then to South Mountain. That area, $268,000 for a home in Phoenix. That's the more older, established area, a little bit higher crime rates than the suburbs. Now, the hot suburb that everyone is like trying to go to right now, that's got the opportunity, is going to Gilbert, Arizona. This right here is very hot. You go on the website, it says very hot. It's going to be a little bit more expensive, $100,000 more expensive for the average median home price. That's in Gilbert, Arizona. $368,000. So that's the hot spot. People like it because it's family friendly. Their kids are getting good schools. Thanks everyone who crushed up the likes, by the way. So Gilbert is the premier spot for the young families. If you have a young family, because of the schools, because of the housing environment, the way the city's set up, people love Gilbert. Now another one, if we wanted to go all the way out to Buckeye, because you guys also asked about Buckeye, whole other side of town, $251,000. Now you're going to be way, way, way out there. I mean, you're barely even in the in the vicinity of Phoenix Metro, but $251,000, another really hot market. Another one you guys have been asking about on the West Valley, Goodyear. So this is as of Zillow. So Zillow, Zillow is getting all the prices based on zip codes. This is real time right off their website. Like I said, there's many different websites you could be pulling data from. MLS, Trulia, the list goes on. So Goodyear is about $50,000 more expensive than Buckeye. It's a little bit closer to Phoenix than Buckeye. $314,000 average median home price in Buckeye or in Goodyear. Okay, so another one that's also really popular, that if you are looking for like a secret spot, let me give you Ahwatukee. Ahwatukee, the hardest one to spell. It's such a tough one. $360,000 average median home price. If you were to say, hey, Jeff, would you rather live in Gilbert or Ahwatukee? I would say go to Ahwatukee. The reason people don't like Ahwatukee, there is one thing that people don't like. It is a little bit older. Most of the homes were built in Ahwatukee around the 80s. They do have some new developments around there, but if you go to Ahwatukee, I even have a video on this channel. If you guys go search my homepage on the homepage on this channel, you'll see like the streets in Ahwatukee, they have like tar in between the cracks because the sun. I mean, it's like today, 112 degrees. Okay. I mean, it's like this. If you could handle Phoenix, Arizona in July, you can handle anything Phoenix, Arizona is going to throw at you, because it was 112 today. We've got 114 on the radar on the forecast for the 7-day. Still no real signs of the monsoon, which is a lot of people really look forward to the monsoons, unless you have very flimsy trees, because then the monsoon will snap the tree. And that's no joke. If you haven't seen how the wind gusts with monsoons, you're going to get thunder, lightning, rain, floods, and wind. It's the whole enchilada with the monsoon. And then, so if you want to go up north to say Anthem, let's take a look at Anthem, another place that's outside of it all, $358,000. Okay. Again, right now, interest rates, if you, like I said, check in the description below on this video. I do have a loan officer, and he was getting me pre-qualified. He got me down to 3.1%, and that was with a good, not the perfect credit, but good credit. But yeah, I mean, someone has said, not him, he didn't necessarily say this, but someone has said that they got as low as 2.5% on interest rates. Unheard of. I mean, I personally, when I first got into this house, I was at 4.57, something like that. I don't remember the exact number, but I know I was I was about around $1,600 for a monthly payment on my mortgage. I'm down to like $1,250, and that includes the interest, not the HOA. The HOA is $60 a month. Anyone want to know what the new nicknames for HOAs are? If you got some nicknames, what HOA stands for? They said hassling of Americans, harassing of Americans. That's what they said HOA stands for. Nothing against HOAs, I guess. But that was just like the inside jokes. But who knows? Maybe you could say something friendly about the HOAs. Some people love the HOAs, but you basically pay them to tell you what to do, and then you wonder why they don't clean up your yard. I don't know. HOAs, you love them sometimes, and you may not like them all the time. But that was just crazy how people were coming up with all these nicknames for HOAs. Anyway, so Anthem, Michelle says she loves Anthem. Anthem's really nice. They got a great community. I mean, back in the old days, thanks to the 20 people who crushed up the likes, guys. Let's crush those likes up to get this out to the audience. Okay, so anyway, back in the old days, around about 2000, Anthem was the master plan community, Del Webb master plan community. They got a community pool. They've got the community center. They've got golf courses, beautiful mountain views. These mountains, they look kind of like Daisy Mountain, Kind of looks like an old retired volcano. So that's really good out there in Anthem. And like Michelle said, she loves it out there. All right, let me give you guys a Scottsdale report here. So here we go. We're going to get Scottsdale average median home price. Okay. What? They're saying Scottsdale. Oh, wait. Okay. That was not the right price. $532,000. So $500,000 to be living down there in Scottsdale. And, you know, you could pay as much as, I've seen houses go for as much as 10 to 12 million up in North Scottsdale. And I've seen them go for as low as 450,000 down in like South Scottsdale. And there are some areas. Now, if you were to ask me, hey, Jeff, what's your favorite part of Scottsdale? I will tell you right now, North Scottsdale. If you can get up into North Scottsdale, that's the go-to spot. You're going to be a little bit further out of town, but it's beautiful up there. It's heavenly. It's great. For real, North Scottsdale. And if you get a chance, go up into Carefree Cave Creek. I have a video on this channel of Carefree and Cave Creek. You can watch it on this channel just by going there and searching Cave Creek Carefree driving tour. Okay, so Cave Creek and Carefree, probably the ultimate North Scottsdale, but I'll just tell you how much the average median home price in Cave Creek is. I wouldn't be surprised if it's more than Scottsdale. Yeah, it's $620,000 in Cave Creek. Let's see how expensive Carefree is. These are for you, those of you who, you know, this is in your price range. Carefree, Arizona, almost $1 million. It's $807,000 for a home in Carefree. So that's far north Scottsdale, just beyond North Scottsdale. So you can see as you start going north into Scottsdale, you start going into the big dollar district of Arizona. Another area that's going to be high dollar, but it's right in the middle of the city, Paradise Valley. And I'll tell you, this one is the big dollars. Why? Well, it's a beautiful area, but it's smack dab right in the middle of Phoenix. So guess what it is? $1.8 million for a home there. That's where the quarterback, Kurt Warner, had a house. Charles Barkley had a house out there. You know, you'll hear names of people all the time about who's had houses out there. So Paradise Valley is like the big dollar district. Now let's come back down to reality and let's go look at Mesa. Because you guys are like, well, okay, Jeff, you're talking millions of dollars here. We're just trying to, you know, be everyday people. $278,000 for a home in Mesa. Mesa is really nice. I mean, the further east you go into Mesa, the more expensive it's going to be. The further west you go into Mesa towards the city, it's going to get a little bit cheaper. Now, Mesa borders Tempe. Tempe is really nice, but it's a little bit more expensive in Tempe because it's closer to South Mountain. And so it is $319,000 for the average median home price in Tempe. Now, where I live, you guys have been asking me how I like Santan Valley. Let's see where Santan Valley ranks. Whoa, the cheapest we've come across so far. Oh, man, I'm a cheapo right now. Santan Valley, $245,000 for a home out here. Although I'm seeing homes, these brand new homes, I'm seeing, because I know most of you guys are like, well, I want a brand new home if I'm going to live out in Santan Valley, because that's what I did. The prices that I'm seeing are around about $280,000 to $300,000 for a brand new, beautiful, state-of-the-art, smart home out in Santan Valley, around about $300,000. Right here, it does say $245,000, but they're taking into consideration some of the other homes that are older around here. So Santan Valley got good prices. How about the next door neighbor, Queen Creek? Let's go take a look at Queen Creek here. $324,000. So right next door to Santan Valley, you've got Queen Creek, $324,000. So it's a little bit more expensive in Queen Creek. That's why people they come out to Queen Creek and they're like, oh man, Queen Creek's nice. It's a little bit cheaper than Gilbert, but still a little bit too expensive. And then they're like, did you hear about Santan Valley? And then they go one town over, 5 minutes down the road, 10 minutes down the road, and they're like saving $50,000. And so this is where the conversation happens with Pinal County and Maricopa County, is because Santan Valley, for the most part, is in Pinal County. So anyway, just wanted to point that out. And if you really wanted to go a little bit further, let's take a look at Florence, Arizona, which is considered even cheaper, $223,000, but you're pretty far away from downtown Phoenix. That's for dang sure. And there's not really a freeway out there in Florence. And that's where the old prison is. You know, they had a prison out there. So thanks to everybody who crushed up the likes. We got 31 people crushing up the likes. Jeremy Real says, how much is it downtown in downtown Arizona, downtown Phoenix? Let's take a look at how much it costs downtown Phoenix. Let's see if we can get a. I know that they've got apartments, they've got renovated condos down there. I know some realtors who are doing some renovations. Downtown Phoenix, let me see if I could pluck a couple right out of here. Obviously, you've got Encanto, but you need to go down Central. Central Avenue is basically where it's at. And then there's a place down there off of Roosevelt. So they call that Roosevelt Row. Let me see if I can get you a quote from a place off of Roosevelt Row. So you got to go down there past McDowell South, just between Garfield and Portland Street. Let's see if we can get you a quote here. Oh, man, come on. They're not going to give me a quote of a, they're not going to give me a listing. There's got to be at least one. Let me see if I can buy homes for sale downtown Phoenix. Because I know you guys are like, downtown Phoenix, tell me what it's going to cost to be downtown. I was to go to any downtown, though, I would want to go to, I would definitely want to go to downtown Scottsdale or, yeah, I would go to downtown Scottsdale. But, you know, people want to be in downtown Phoenix. Okay, so we've got some stuff here. Not lots and land. We're looking for multifamily. We're looking for townhomes. We're looking for condos and houses in downtown, right around Roosevelt, off of Rio Salado. Let me see if I can get it, or not Rio Salado. Oh my gosh. You asked me a challenging question, and I wasn't prepared for it, but I want to definitely answer that question. So I apologize about this wait here. Okay, so you got to go past Van Buren, Washington Street, up Fillmore and McKinley, and then there we go. Now we're in the money here. Roosevelt Row. Let's see here. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? 4 units. Oh, real small. These are real small. Well, you can rent down there in Roosevelt Row for, you can get a studio down there for rent for $11.99. You can get a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,080 square feet for $16.49. That's more expensive than my house. Okay. You can get a, it looks like down there, the average price that I'm seeing is around $300,000 for a townhouse down in downtown on what I would consider the spot you'd want to be, which is Roosevelt Row. If you want to be in one of the newer developments, let's see here. Here we go. We've got a, what do we got here? Come on. It said $500,000 for this, this unit off of Portland Street. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, you got one for $235,000 for a studio, 1-bedroom, 1-bath. $280,000 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 776 square feet. So, you know, it's, you're getting downtown prices, you know, anywhere you go downtown. You've got one here on Garfield Street. This is a house, 4 bedrooms, 1.75 baths, 1,500 square feet. So smaller than this house that I'm in now for double the price. So you can live in downtown Phoenix for $500,000. Okay, that's that house there. You know, you're getting real small houses, and when you start to get extra bedrooms, you're going to be paying premium prices. If you're more on the high end, you want to get I mean, they could go for $1 million. They got spreads down there for $1 million. They got a real small looking cottage, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 2,246 square feet. Just a little bit bigger than my house. $799,000. Totally a Victorian style home though. Unbelievable. 37 people crushed up the likes. Thank you to everyone who takes the time to do that for us. Let's see. Conscious Agent. HOA makes condo living closer to being like a rental. Yes. Condo living, HOA. Yeah. I mean, I've heard that some of these HOAs can be as high as, what's the highest HOA you've seen in some of these townhomes? But I've heard they can get as high as $400 a month. So that's, your rent is your mortgage is $1,600 plus $400. That's putting you at $2,000 because you got an HOA, homeowners association. Now people are like, well, I want to. They like the HOA because it helps preserve the price of the home. But then you got to start thinking, you're like, between how much it costs to replace a heating unit, hot water heater, maintain my yard, all these different things, you start to think, well, maybe it's not even worth it to own. Maybe it's better to just rent in a place like downtown. Unless you're one of the people that is investing and, you want to be the person who owns the home and then you rent it out either on Airbnb or just rent it out for 12-month contracts. I mean, it just depends on what you like to do. B-Rob says, commuting to Phoenix sucks though. I mean, yeah. He says, Surprise is nice. I have lived here for 7 years. Shout out to B-Rob for giving you guys the information about Surprise. But he said the drive to Phoenix, if you need to go down to downtown Phoenix, it can be a little bit of a pain in the butt because you got to take the I-17 or you take Grand Avenue going sideways. Grand Avenue is a weird road. It's one of the old school roads. It actually goes all the way up to Wickenburg, but it just goes on like diagonal because, Phoenix is on a grid, right? You got avenues to the west and you got streets to the east, and right in the middle is Central, and then you got like streets like Thomas and Indian School and all these different streets going left to right, east to west, north to south are the streets in the Avs. And it's a grid, which makes it really easy because if someone says, hey, I'm on 50th Ave, right away, you already know. I know where 50th Ave is. It's west side. Someone says, I'm on 53rd Street. You're like, okay, they're on the east side. And then you got to know the other street, the cross street. If they say Bell Road, well, I know Bell Road's in the north, so I know pretty much right where they're at. Bell Road and 53rd Street. It's pretty easy. That's what the good thing about a grid is, because if you're living in a big city, like Phoenix has almost 4.5 million people. It's a huge city. It's huge. Like, I mean, if you're looking at Los Angeles and you're driving Los Angeles and you're driving Phoenix, you're going to think that Phoenix is about as big as LA. I mean, if not, it almost seems like bigger, really, because both have urban sprawl, but Phoenix is huge. LA metro area is pretty big, though. Yeah, LA is pretty big. And there's a lot of the thing about LA coming from San Bernardino all the way down into like Santa Monica, it'll take you 2 hours to get from San Bernardino, and that depends on traffic. But Phoenix, to go from one end to the other, so let's say you're going from Buckeye to Santan Valley, you're going to take the 10. I mean, that might take an hour and 15 minutes to go side to side like that. Mark Osuka says, what do you think of Los Sendas in Mesa to buy a home? Los Sendas, I think I've been hearing about this community. I think my brother, who's a real estate agent, I have links in the description. If you guys want to talk to some of our preferred real estate agents, they're in the description. But click on one of those links. We also have a person you can refinance with or get a new home loan. But let me take a look. I think this is the one he was telling me about when I was out there by the Salt River. I was coming back off of the Usury Mountains, and he was telling me about Los Sendas and Mesa. Let me see if this is the one. I think so. Oh, it's beautiful. They got a nice golf course up there. I'd live up there. I mean, based on these pictures. Yeah. This is a good area. Yeah, it's out there by the Salt River. Oh, yeah. Los Sendas is gold. I mean, here, if you ask my opinion, I've been there. I didn't know that was what it was called. Okay, so I would golf at that golf course for one. I want to golf there. It's right at the base of the Usury Mountains, so that's really nice. It's off of the Highway 202. It's close enough to the lakes. It's got the Salt River right there, so if I want to do the Salt River, I could go fishing. So I can kind of live like a country-style lifestyle out there, or I could go up to Swirl Lake. It's on the other side of Fountain Hills. Fountain Hills is another area. If you guys haven't, I don't talk about Fountain Hills on this channel, but Fountain Hills is a great place. Let me see if I can get you guys average median home price for Fountain Hills. Oh my gosh, what are they telling me? About $600,000. It looks like. Whoa, they got some houses out in. I mean, you could get a three-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,400 square feet in Fountain Hills. Beautiful place out there. If you're looking for homes near Scottsdale, check out Fountain Hills. And even the guy who's asked me about Los Sendas, go a little bit north, up the 87, on the other side of the 87, the Beeline Highway, and go check out Fountain Hills. They call it Fountain Hills because it's got a big fountain. But, I'm seeing some really nice houses out there for really good prices. Holy moly, what am I thinking? Fountain Hills, probably At this point, Fountain, if you don't mind living a little bit out of town and you like a really beautiful place, check out that place, Fountain Hills. Other side of the McDowell Mountains from Scottsdale, Fountain Hills, just north. It's in between the Salt River. The Salt River is in between Los Sendas, North Mesa, and Fountain Hills. Okay. So that's why I bring that up based on that conversation. Thanks to everyone who crushed up the likes. 46 of y'all have hooked it up. Now we got 75 people watching. Yeah. So anyways, I just wanted to say that's basically it for this video. And thanks to everyone who crushed up the likes. 50 people just did it. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Check the links in the description. And I pinned a link to the top of this chat for those of you who want to support this channel on Patreon. Some of you guys were asking about that, how you guys can give a shout out and how you guys can support the channel. So that's how you do it. And I also have a link in the description to do that. And check out the links in the description too. We'll see you guys.